You want to talk about Neon Prime? You want to talk about Citadel? You want to talk about the Steam Deck 2? You want to talk about the Valve Deckard? Do you want to even talk about HLX? Too bad. Scream Fortress 15 is here. I bet some of you watching are not even 15 years old. What are you doing here? This game is older than your dad. Scream Fortress 15. Oh my god. I feel old. 12 maps, some new cases, some new taunts, some new contracts. The big thing here is another really well-made V-script-based game mode, this one being Zombie Infection. Zombie Infection, or ZI as the maps call it, is far more in-depth than versus Saxton Hale, as that was pretty much just like a one versus all game mode. When you die and turn into a zombie, you effectively gain completely different sets of powers for each of the 9 classes, and although the team behind it, a community team, is working on balancing out those different things, this is probably the most complex game mode that Team Fortress 2 has seen in a very long time. And again, the implementation of the V-script system continues to pay dividends for the community, since it allows anybody to effectively create any experience that they do want for Team Fortress 2. Of course, there's the same stuff every year. It's the 15th Scream Fortress, guys. 15 Scream Fortress. You got the cosmetics, you got the cases, you got the taunts, you got the unusual effects that'll affect all of the different things, you got the gargoyle with the contracts, and the contracts reset, and the contracts are far more in depth than they were previous years when it comes to the new maps specifically related to Zombie Infection, which is highly welcome from me. And this, of course, is running through November 7th, 2023. It's Scream Fortress number 15. You get the deal. It's the best time for Team Fortress 2. It's the best time of the year for Team Fortress 2, but I want to talk about something else. In the general part of the patch notes, there is a bug fix. Changes to help improve load times. I really dislike when patch notes don't actually tell you what they did. They just kind of say, well, this has changed. Deal with it. Here's what actually happened. In the rush to be able to get versus Saxton Hale up and running in a way that allowed players to connect without crashing the server, and then players to connect and be assigned onto the proper teams, the few people that still work on Team Fortress 2, specifically Joshy and Eric Smith, changed a few of the things related to back-end asset loading, and that caused all maps for a short period of time, or at least since those updates, to take a bit longer when loading from the main menu. Those changes have been reverted while not breaking VScript implementation, and now all maps load quite a bit quicker than they were during the summer 2023 update. I had to ask Joshy to figure that out. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to my buddy Bree, aka Crackhead Jones, for getting their first item added into Team Fortress 2. They have been grinding out dozens and dozens of cosmetics for the last year to get one in, and they finally got one, the Cozy Camper. Congratulations, Bree. Let's talk about something internal at Team Fortress 2. There's actually a build of Team Fortress 2 internally called Upcoming or Beta, or I don't actually know what the build is qualified as. There are quite a few engine level bug fixes in that build that are currently not seen publicly, and since Valve has effectively swept under the rug the idea that there would be community fixes added into Team Fortress 2, there is an entire feature-length essay worth of changes that should occur if Valve wants to continue making money on this game, and quite a few of them, I'm serious, are in this internal build. We are waiting, however, for some of the Steam Play related binaries, which is stuff related to Linux gameplay, stuff that then relates into Proton. We need to wait for a lot of the back-end stuff that Valve does on things like Linux, SteamOS, the Steam Deck, and the Steam TV stuff in order to be able to see patches related to the upcoming build come out in a public-facing way. It will be very obvious when that occurs because the patch notes will be longer than normal without really any major amounts of content coming with those massive patch notes. If Valve wants to be able to crowdsource any kind of bug fixes, any kind of community fixes as they call it, they need to give guidelines. They need to explain to their community members exactly what they want out of it, which they've not done. I don't think they're going to do, because writing up documentation on something like that is time consuming, and Valve, according to the latest inside reports, is scrambling a bit because they have a lot of different ongoing projects, more than ever before, with only like 300 people to divvy up between said projects. If you at all pay attention, even Dota 2's updates are slowing down. You have the Steam Deck, the Steam Deck TV, the Valve Deckard, Citadel aka Neon Prime, HLX, Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, Team Fortress 2, SteamOS, the Linux Steam Play Proton system, and Steam proper, Steam VR, and a few other smaller projects that we don't really know much about publicly. That's too many things. There is an upcoming video called What CS2 Took From You, because Counter-Strike 2 released in a terrible state, and it's not at all representative of what Valve is usually capable of doing, unless you take a look at the release version of Artifact, but that's a whole other conversation. There's some weird stuff going on at Valve Software right now, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, but it's difficult. When you have that many teams and that many splintered groups of people, there is very little cross-communication, so unless you're able to get a hold of somebody who is working on a project proper, you're almost never going to find out. And Valve is working on like a dozen active projects, and Counter-Strike 2 suffered for it. Team Fortress 2 isn't really, it's the same, but it's interesting to be able to see because this massive amount of work might actually cause things in 2024 to truly slow down for Team Fortress 2. So you have to pray to Joshi that things are going to continue to move forward. I'm interested in what kind of VScript related game modes you would like to see from Team Fortress 2, because aside from creating a few things related to HUD, there have continually been more features given to the vScripting system over the last couple of months, and because of that, sky is the limit. So what is it that you would want to see? What old game modes would you like to see revitalized, or hell, what new ideas do you possibly have? That's what the comments section is for. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. My DMs on Twitter and Discord are always open if you want to ask a question or request something, and I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you want to support these videos, I do have a Patreon or Floatplane page, and I will talk to you all later. Again, I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I will talk to you all later. Peace and hair grease. Ooh, I got a Discord message. Adios.